Now, I would like to have a disclaimer on when we talk about Google App Engine as a strategic choice. The basis on which I am talking about GAE is that I am a very satisfied customer on this platform, and I could build a SaaS business on this platform successfully. More than that, it may not be fair to say that I have compared all platforms around and chosen GAE. In 2008 April, when the platform came out, it was a very small with very limited capabilities. But when we look at the platform in 2012 end, it has grown. It has grown in functionality, it has grown in its performance, it has reached such a great platform. So that is something important when you try to develop a business on a platform. You should have sufficient level of confidence on the platform provider. So a few things on GAE platform, you'll find reliability and service level agreements, platform growth and support, developer choices. Then important for the resource constrained community will be free quota and initial cost. Important and equally important will be hidden costs such as licenses and other things. So then equally important will be the incremental cost. Okay, you got started with an application, and slowly customers are coming to your application, your consumption increases, and you will start paying for the consumption of your customers. So the incremental cost, there is a traditionally in this market you see that all incremental cost on cloud components and services continuously drops. Several, for example, if you take Amazon Web Services, their EC2 cost has come down so many times in past 4 years, and Google App Engine is not also an exception. It's not an exception. They also continuously reduce. Then next is the commitment. Commitment from both sides. How much the cloud provider is committed to the business. That is important. There can be cloud providers who try to do it as a business investment rather than with a great commitment towards running the cloud platform in the long run. So you should be extremely careful when you choose a cloud platform. Then provider's roadmap. Provider's roadmap, how much clear it can become. There are limitations because the platform is continuously evolving. Next element of evaluation to choose a platform may be billing transparency. How transparent is the billing? And that is very important because once you launch an application, there is a lock-in element involved, and what you pay to the cloud provider should be fair and transparent. Next element is how one can monitor the application and do the required optimizations. Then comes the operational ease. Operational ease means do you get all command line tools, or are you getting UI tools for managing your cloud elements and applications? So in my personal experience, Google App Engine has all these purposes to my satisfaction. It may not be the ideal platform for all applications, but for small businesses, small software groups who want to really come up with new good products, it really is a great platform. We're waiting for transition. Fine. It is now the application environment on Google App Engine. This will not be a very deep dive because looking at the profile of the participants on this seminar, it can't be very narrow and deep. So we'll try to keep it somewhere at an intermediate level. Dynamic web serving, full support for common web technologies, persistent storage with queries, sorting and transactions, automatic scaling and load balancing, APIs for a portfolio of services, a fully featured software development kit, task queues for performing work outside the scope of web request. Oh, here's a one word I talk about. Almost all web applications will be working based on request response model, and there could be tasks. When you come to applications, something like backend tasks and other things, you may require something like task queues. And for example, every other day you want to send a message to someone, then schedule tasks for triggering events. Moreover, sometimes it may be an application requirement rather than sending a message, something like say annual reconciliation or monthly reconciliation of your accounts. So you need cron jobs. So all these things are available in GAE application environment. We are transitioning to the next. It is a sandbox. Fine, my application will run in a sandbox. It helps me in several ways. It will become secure and it will become a reliable environment for my application. Other applications' resource consumption will not affect me. Similarly, from the security of the application platform itself, limited access to underlying operating system will be given to all applications because it is in a sandbox. So you'll find that GAE offers you high replication data store with synchronous write, non-planned downtime with 99.95% consistent availability. You can always verify the status of this platform is readily available any point of time. How an GAE application can be configured? Application configuration, where you will be handling the static files, then application handles will be configured. Then backends. Backends essentially means that there is no limit for request response time. Then schedule tasks, task queue, and denial of service protection. So all these elements can be configured. There are simple configuration files which helps you to do this, and a technology called YAML. YAML and markup language, that's their logo, is a human-friendly data serialization standard for all programming languages. So YAML files will be used and structure will be used for Python application configuration, YAML or XML for Java applications, and YAML for Go applications. So YAML, otherwise maybe much more popularly known serialization technology may be XML. So it is something equivalent of that. We'll go for the next one. Then what all services and APIs are available? You will find data store, blob store, memcache, backends, XMPP, channel, images, URL fetch, task queues, and cron. Then mail services, MapReduce for data processing, multi-tenancy for developing applications which can cater to multiple tenants with dedicated namespace, and cloud endpoints for mobile application developers. Then capabilities. Since this is a platform which offers you several services, there could be some downtime from some of the services. So you can use the capabilities, APIs, to find out which services are not available temporarily. Accordingly, you can inform your customers. Then logs, where application logs and system logs can be viewed, as well as even you can get access at the application level itself, not from the administration panel alone. Then OAuth for authorization of several things. One word about user. User APIs helps you to the authentication service, and you have to write your own authorization within the application. Then of course prospective search. Some of these this list will grow at the same time. Some of these services are stable and available in the production environment. We can definitely use some of the experimental APIs, but with a caution. Sometimes it may get deprecated, or sometimes it may get decommissioned even. In the past history of GAE, we have seen only one API which is getting deprecated and withdrawn by Google, that is conversion. So when you are using any of the experimental APIs, along with the service and API documentation, they clearly states what is experimental, what is not. So on experimental APIs and services, if you are using, it would be better to ensure an alternative in case if they deprecate it. So it is something like that. The application has to evolve along with the platform, so that it will become a win-win situation for both. Let us